Hi, welcome to another tutorial on Alora Web Editor. I'm Samuel Light Robert of Home, and this series is going to be about how to manage your website effectively with Alora Web Editor. There are several routes you can go through as to use Alora. You can be an Alora designer, you can be a developer, and then you can be a content editor. As a content editor, you will be managing websites for your clients. It's one of the easiest routes to take to use Alora. And in this tutorial series, we are going to learn some of the techniques, some of the things that you can do to make sure your website is organized and that when you're handing it over to other people, it's going to be easy for them to also continue managing the website. In the previous tutorial, Alora Essentials, where we built this portfolio website, you have learned a lot of things about how to build websites like this from scratch. If that is not something you want to really get into, then you can skip most of that tutorial, because this tutorial is going to teach you a few things as an editor, and it's going to assume that what you are going to do is simply manage websites and not create new sections or build from scratch with the application. So the first thing as a content editor is to make sure the person who handed the website over to you has created section style. Any decent developer or designer with Alora would have created a lot of section styles and probably would have a folder of section styles that they will hand to you as a developer. Even if the person hasn't done that, one of the things you can do when you take your website fresh is to create a few section styles for yourself. In case you need to build websites, add new buttons, then it's going to be easy for you. So one of the things you can do is select the element that you want to save and then click on save. Now you first proceed with the name of the folder that you want to have. So I'm just going to photo-s. And one of the things you have to remember, as always, the naming conventions in Alora Web Editor is that you must make sure that words don't have spaces but hyphens. So photo-s, as in the website name is photo-s, so that I can know that I'm saving my files there. And then what you need to do is that before you save the file in that particular folder, you need to proceed with the kind of element it is. So I'm going to say block because I'm saving the block. This is to help you. You can name it anyhow you want, but this is also to help you organize. So I'm going to save this block with, let's see, top text. All right. So I've saved it. It's done. Now I'm just going to click on this button here and I'm going to save it as well, because I want to be able to add another button here and then I wouldn't have to go around start from scratch again. So all I have to do is just select this button and I'm going to click on save, and I'm still going to make sure that I type the folder correctly, and then I'm going to say button. You can type btn, right? You can just type btn so that it's shorter for you, and then I'm going to say top line. Okay, so top trans for transparent button. Now these, so anytime you save and the pop-up comes back again, you can just close it. It actually saved, right? So the point here is this: the naming conventions are totally up to you, whatever you want to name them. But what you must understand is that you must name them in a way that you can remember what they are for. Now I'm just going to look for photo-s in my section styles. Let's see if photo-s is available. And as you can see right now, we have two elements saved in here. We have block top text, right? And then we have button trans. Okay, so this is very simple, as you can see. So one of the things that you would want to do as a content editor is to save the elements that have been built with the website. Even if the person who delivered the website to you doesn't have those stuff saved, it's in your best interest to save them under a name that you remember that is for that particular website. That is going to make your work so easy. Now, I'm sure the person would have saved actions. If they haven't saved actions, as a content editor, one of the things that you would want to do is to save your content as action. Okay, so the next thing after saving all the elements that you have on your website is to go into your website toolkit. I'm sure by now the person who handed this website over to you, if they actually did it properly, would have a website toolkit with a website folder that has all the pictures and everything that you're going to need. So as we actually did, I'm going to go into our website toolkit here. We have content, and you can see that I've created a folder called copy over here. And one of the things that you can do is name each page. So I have the home page, right? And then I'm going to copy the text file over here. This is just to help me move faster. You can just create it from scratch. And I'm going to pick it up. So instead of putting this here, I'm just going to type section. I'm just going to type header now. So we've learned in our previous videos that we have the header. This all can be the header or the hero section, right? So you can divide the website into sections, which is already divided into sections, especially the sections that have text, right? And then we can take that, and we have section 1. Let's say section 2. And some of the sections will have titles, maybe about us, maybe services. You can use that as the name of the sections. And then what you are going to write here, what you are going to have here is the copy that you have in each of the text. Yeah. So in section 2, I have one text right here. Photographer. As in 1 dot photographer. Then the subtext that is below it. So let's assume that this is the subtext that is below it. Let me just put in there in that order. I'm going to have it there, and then a button. So in the indication of a button, I need to indicate that this is a button. So I can just type BTN, and then the call to action on it, call now. Now you see this is a call to action, right? So if you want to make it easier for you, you can put a TTA here. That is trying to tell you that it's a call to action. Now, as a content editor, if you have something like this, it's going to make things really, really simple for you. So text 1, text 2, and then 3, call to action. That's section 2. As you can see over here, we have the photography here, we have the content over here, and the word in here. Now, this is very simple. Anytime that you make any change to the website, let's say for example someone comes along and the owner of the website wants you to make a change, or since you are a content editor, probably as a content editor you probably know copywriting, so you are doing a little bit of copywriting and then management. Even if you are not doing copywriting, what you could actually be doing is someone will write the text for you to actually just update it. So when they give it to you, you can either come here and replace this text or duplicate. You can either name it home, so I'm just going to say 0.1, right? And I'm going to copy this and post it here. After pasting it there, I'm going to have 0.2. So one of the reasons why you would need to duplicate your file, so for example this version 1 of the content on your website, if you're about to make very significant changes, you would need to duplicate that and then put it in a version 2 of your website. One of the reasons is that you would actually be able to test between these content, which one is actually working better for your website. If you are that kind of person that you are managing for a corporation or a company or a client that requires monthly reports, you'll be able to put in your report which ones are working and not. Some clients will just, okay, hey, put in my content here, and I'm going to, there's a content, put it in. It's very important that you do this for yourself, because you're going to meet a whole lot of people, and there are people who are going to tell you that they told you to put this in there and you didn't put it in there. They are going to fault you and wouldn't want to pay you for the work you are doing. So By documenting everything like this with the date and everything is very important, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot as you go forward. One of the things that we have to look at is images. And in our previous tutorial, which I recommend you go and then watch, we've talked about images a lot. And in our previous tutorial, we said that naming your images is very important. Make sure as a content editor, every image you upload is named properly. You put in the company name, you put in the description of the image, and you make sure there are no spaces, they are hyphenated. This helps readers be able to pick up your content properly, and also it helps those with disability who come to your website and are looking for something on your website. Basically, it's very good if you do these kind of things. Now, make sure that images you have here are only images that are already on your website, or you are ready to put on your website, that go onto your website. That if there are old images or new images, put them here, work on them before you go there. And the reason why I keep old images that you have used and new images you are going to use here is that you have to have the whole array of the things that you are going to upload and the things that you are not going to. There are several times that people will send you an email, and at the end of the day they are going to put so many stuff out there and they tell you change this, you didn't change this. It's very important that you document things. At the end of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get your clients to send you proper content in a proper way than using an email to document it. Okay, so let's get back to the design. Earlier we saved some elements from the website, so I'm assuming now you have all the elements in your website saved, and then there's no issue for you to deal with. One of the things that we are going to do next is, as a website, as a content manager, there will be a time that you really need to add a new page. Not design, but add a new page. You have elements that are already designed for you. You need to add a new page, and we all know how to add a new page. I've already added a new page called About Us, but I'm just going to do it again for the sake of it. I'm just going to say contact us, and then I'm going to submit this. So let's go ahead and open our contact us page. So first, before you go ahead and start building away, you need to check in the page list to see if you have a header. If you have a header template, all you need to do is just select the section, load the template, add the node load template, and as you can see, we have the header in there. There's no need for us to change it, but normally you change it to the name of the template that you want to load into the page. As we refresh, you can have a look at it and you can see that our header has been loaded. But in our previous video, we talked about navigation and why this is showing up this way. So we are going to go to our actions, and then we are going to apply our navigation to get everything working. And as you can see, we've talked about actions in our previous videos. I would advise that you go and watch that. I'm not going to go through that, but in this case, as a content editor, you might need to add new pages, and this is going to be very helpful. So I'm adding the new background and I'm pulling it down. Now we've saved some of the elements, so I'm adding a block. By adding a block here, I'll just go into my section styles. I'm going to look for photo S. We saved quite a lot of them, right? So we saved them. All I have to do is just click on it and it's done for me. Simple. I don't need to do a lot of work. And as a content editor, actually it's not required of me to do a lot of work. I'm just managing the website. Now maybe there might be the time where you need to add another button. Okay, so let's add another button here. So what do we need to do? We just come and click on our button and then we have it. The only thing we have to do is just probably clear a few things, and then for example, the margin to the top, we don't actually need that much. Yeah, so we need that much. I'm just going to take the clear from there because we want it to be on the same line with this, and as you can see perfectly, it lines up with this, and I have my second button. I don't have to stress myself to do it all over again. So as a content editor, these are some of the things that you'd be doing and editing. It's very simple, and in order not to drag this that much, basically all the elements that you are going to save as section styles, are already responsive, so there is no need to go through making them responsive again. Okay, so we've done quite a bit about editing your website using important templates, and this is an example of an About Us page that I created basically from the section styles that we have saved. Now, this is a different section style that we didn't save, and as a content editor, you're going to have other section styles that you probably bought from the store or bought from another designer or developer to help you manage your website and make it frequent, make it easy for you. You could have text, you could have blogs, you could have sections that you have created or others have created, and then you take it and then use it to manage websites for people by creating new pages and adding spice to it. But I would advise, if a website is built, you can stick to it, stick to the design, or even if you add a new section, you have to change the colors to match the design. So in this case, what I would have to do is select the section, go to our action here, and then let the colors match. And that means that I would have to change quite a lot of things here to make sure the colors are all matching and I'm getting the kind of website that I need. So first of all, let me just change everything at once. Then so that's something you are going to do a lot. And if you have color, for example, let's go to our actions. Instead of doing this, if you have already saved actions, so you can just apply them. As you can see, it works perfectly. To instead of going to change color, change font size, change all that. If you have saved these actions already, it's very simple and easy to use them. So as you can see, I've made this template or section that I've added match with the overall theme of the website, and that is what you'd be doing as a content editor. So basically, we are done with most of the things you need to do as a content editor in managing your website. This one set of it. In the next version of the tutorial, we are going to go deeper into how you are going to make your life easier as you manage the website.